creatives, it's Leah O'Neill. I am excited to show you a little bit different of a process today. If you're ever feeling really overwhelmed by the sheer amount of thoughts and ideas running around inside your head, then you're a lot like me, especially in this moment. I've been in a creative rut lately, and I have been feeling kind of paralyzed, like if I don't get all of these thoughts out of my head and organized in some way, it just overwhelms me to the point of not moving forward. So one way that I've learned to work through this mental block, is starting with sticky notes. Lots and lots of sticky notes. Now you can use some cheap sticky notes from the dollar store. This works just as well. Right now I'm using these Bloom sticky notes from Carpe Diem planners, and I love them. They're just prettier. They make this process prettier. So what I've started doing is I have written down literally everything I can think of in my brain onto these individual sticky notes for all kinds of categories, of just almost like a brain dump. I've just dumped them all onto a ton of sticky notes. As I start looking through the sticky notes, I start noticing there are some themes in the subject. So what I'm doing now is I'm taking these basic graph paper inserts and I'm using these letter stickers to kind of start groups for each of the thoughts that I had, like common topics that most of the things I wrote down relate to. And this is just like, I kind of worked with what I have, and when I come across a new thought and it doesn't seem to fit into one of the categories that I already have, I simply start a new one where it fits better. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go through the sticky notes that I have, and the ones that apply to these topics, I'm going to just stick them loosely on the paper. Now you can glue these down. Because this is really kind of a brainstorming, brain dump process, I am not concerned about it looking good. Like you're about to see, I did not try very hard to line up these letters, and as a result, I just had to wrap them around the page, and that's that. And earlier you saw I used a different color pink letter because I ran out of E's. So this is strictly a functional process for me. I'm getting these ideas into the world, into a tangible form. And for a brain like mine, when I have a million tabs open, this is the only way for me to really look at things more linearly so that I can figure out what comes next, how to move forward, how to make my next step. So now I'm just sticking these right back into my planner. And this is one case where I realized I had some things that didn't fit in the categories I already had, so I added a couple more. Now, after I just write all these things down and then I organize them into these categories, then I open up to my planner pages. Right now I'm using these daily inserts in my traveler's notebook, and I am going to use those sticky notes that I wrote all those thoughts down onto, and I'm going to build it into my planning for this day. So right now I'm showing you some of the supplies that I'm going to be using to decorate this spread. These are a bunch of the sticker tablets from Simple Stories, and these are a bunch of the stamps, the new planner stamps. If you haven't already seen the announcement, Carpe Diem Planners has a brand new website, so you can find all the products there. And I will link everything below. You can buy directly from Simple Stories now on this website. It's amazing. And if you use the code LEAH20, you can get 20% off your order right now. And if you spend $75, you can get free shipping. So go check it out. It's a beautiful website. I am starting out with the It's a Date stamp set, and ever since I've started using Carpe Diem planners, I've always loved that they're undated, and I've been waiting for a stamp set just like this so that I could have that flexibility of dating my own inserts. And now they're making it extra easy between this and the calendar sticker tablet. You've got lots of ways to number and date your pages. And this script on this stamp set is beautiful. I just love it. Something you'll notice in this video, I am subject to stamping errors. I'm trying to stamp more, but there's always error and it's not a big deal to me. You can cover it with a sticker or something later. This is this big Plans scripty font is called from the Plan On It stamp set. Love that scripty font. It has like several phrases that you can stamp. I use this one and the To Do script like very, very frequently. This is another one of my favorites, and this is the Home Sweet Home stamp set from the Home Sweet Home stamp set. Most of the next few stamps that you see me use are going to be from those. Although that the cups are from the fitness one, the Work It stamp set. I use that hydration sticker on every daily page. But in the Home Sweet Home stamp set, you've just got several very functional planning stamps. It's just a small little set of stamps too, but they're all so well thought out. It's definitely things that I've been using a lot on these pages. See, I messed that up. User error. But it's okay. I'm going to cover it with the sticker probably. And I can't go without using any washi tape, but you can see how sometimes I just like to decorate, but I just don't feel the need to be perfect. I rip the washi tape half the time. Like, I just don't mind having these little mess ups. At the end of the day, I'm here to make a planning page and express a little bit of my creativity for the day. And given that I've had such a roadblock lately, like, this is good for me. Getting anything down on paper. And I just can't get away with not using any gold glitter washi tape. This is a good way if you tear it. The gold glitter washi tape did not tear as well as the other ones as easily, so I just used my cutting board to cut it. This is the Bliss sticker tablet. I love the colors. So these stickers actually stick pretty well, but not so much on the washi tape. So something you're going to see me do is I have to add a little glue to reinforce that because the washi tape surface is a little bit slick. But no big deal, a little bit of glue holds it down really well. So right now I'm kind of laying the template for my day. I'm pre-decorating a little bit with some of the stickers from this tablet. So you're kind of getting a 2-in-1 video. One is kind of a process, decoration, and planning video, but I'm going to show you how I incorporate that earlier process. Because, sometimes it's not enough just to get the tasks and the ideas down on paper. You need to actually do something with them. Using that heart to cover that little mess up there. And then just a few layers. I like to pick different shapes here. I've got or different sizes and shapes of stickers. It gives the layering effect a little bit cooler of an effect. Now, I can't figure out, I want to layer these flowers behind something, but I just can't get the angle to look right. So I'm actually just going to cut it in half and make it look like it's peeking out from underneath that sticker. So One thing I like to do is when I have lighter colored stickers, I just like to add a little bit of a border to them to give the sticker a little bit more depth. Kind of gives it a dimensional effect, a bit of a texture. It also anchors. You know how right there I just had that ribbon and it just kind of was floating there, and I just add a little doodle to make it not look like it's floating. Just anchors it on the page a little bit more. So I've stamped that square around times where I know I have something that happens pretty regularly. And I've been using this little bottom part here to write like affirmations or goals or quotes, motivational things, reminders. This one says, don't lose yourself worrying about everyone else. Some really good advice I got recently from someone that I work with that was retiring. And I told him he'd be missed because he was always smiling, and I asked him what his secret was, and he said, when I stopped worrying about what everyone else thought and started worrying about me. This is just what I needed to hear. So here I am going back and referring to those notes that I made. And I'm trying to figure out what's nice about categorizing them into groups like that. It allows me, like, you're gonna see me do this on this page. I love the daily traveler's notebook because you get 2 pages to do your plans on. So the left side gives me a lot of freedom in whatever format I want. And I can kind of separate this page according to those categories, because those categories are really, when you think about it, well, for me, they're kind of my main categories of my life, things that I need to worry about. So I'm actually taking some of those sticky notes and tracing the shape right onto the page. If you don't trust yourself to draw a straight line, you might want to use something with a harder surface if that matters to you, but I don't mind the doodly line if I mess up. And I really am just adding in some doodles to make it more fun. A scalloped edge is something that's really easy to draw, and it's just fun. And see, a circle gives another little place for you to write in something without it looking like it's just floating in the page. I mean, for some people, maybe that doesn't matter, but for myself, it's almost like it creates more order to the page, even though I still have kind of I don't know if you want to call it a messy style, but a handmade style. Let's call it that. I like to add, just compartments to the page. And see how I wrote like decaf coffee in there? One of my goals on my self-care page was to cut back on caffeine. So you see how I'm like taking those ideas that I wrote down and trying to actually apply them to my planning for the day. I had a category called relationships, and I'm genuinely taking some of the few that I want to work on this week and putting them over here into this box. And you really have to break things down into smaller segments in order to actually accomplish them. I mean, if you try to do too much at one time, it just overwhelms. So these are just a few things I'm writing in there to not forget. Just a couple of random things I want to not forget. On my self-care thing, I also had that I wanted to start doing yoga, not just for fitness, but for my mental and emotional health as well. So a goal of mine for today is to look for a yoga routine. And I had a lot of creative goals as well. And I'm taking some of the ones that I see myself working on. Some of them I'm working on right now. So I'm off to a good start. I always wonder if people enjoy watching the actual planning process or the decorating process. Comment below like what it is that you prefer to watch. Do you like watching both, or are you someone that just likes to watch the decorative part? I always hesitate to make the video too long, but I feel like for this particular video, it's very important for you to see the process of how my brain is putting this information into something I can work with. Using a couple of my Tombow markers just to add a little color to my doodles. Some of my lettering. Gives my page a little bit more color and character. I'm really loving how this spread is coming together, actually. Thank you all so much for joining me here today. I hope that you found something here useful. Come say hello over on my Instagram, sunny.leah. I'll have all of the products I used linked below. Let me know below or over on Instagram, how do you cope with being overwhelmed? If you haven't already, please hit subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.